What's up, guys? Welcome back to the ranch. Today we're doing a small little project behind my barn, and I thought I'd show you guys what's a hinge cut. So what is a hinge cut? A hinge cut is taking a small tree about thick as, up to like 8 inches across maybe, and cutting it slightly the way through with just enough meat left that you would pull it over from the top, creating a hinge from where you cut it. You could do this with a chainsaw, but on a small tree like I'm going to show you, you could do this with a handsaw. Real easy. The idea to do this is that you're going to cut and leave enough meat, and you're going to use a tool or a rope or something up at the top of the tree and pull it over, is to leave a lot of meat and tree Cambrian layer here to keep the tree alive. This way the tree grows and it's on an angle, hence creating a hinge, like on a door. So here, if you look, we cut a straight cut, not an angled cut, about halfway through the tree. A little slightly more, I'd say 60%. The idea is you want to leave enough meat on the tree that the tree will stay alive when you pull it over, but not too much cutting where the tree just falls over and dies. Both have purposes, but this one I wanted to try to keep alive. So now you can see that, and I'm going to slightly pull it down from the top on over to my property line here. All right, so now the tree's cut, and I'm going to pull it from the top above where I cut and make it hinge over. And you could do that with a rope. I just happen to have a tool. This tool, it's like a shepherd's hook. It's called a habitat hook. And I'll pull from the top of the tree gently, or you can push from the top of the tree, because sometimes you don't want to pull a tree on top of you. But in this case, it's very small, so I'm going to pull it. You definitely get better leverage pulling, but again, you want to think about safety. Helmets, gloves, all that kind of stuff. But this is kind of more of a recreational hinge or educational hinge, and thanks for watching, than actual a lot of forestry. So here you go, I'm going to show you how this hook works. All right, so there it is, hinged. I'm gonna take the next one and try to push it for you instead of pull it this time, so you can see how that works. And that's a hinge cut. So, hinge cut. I know what you're saying, why do this? Well, there's a lot of different reasons to do a hinge cut. You do this to create a higher stem count, get more sunlight to the ground, create stump sprouts. All this stuff helps your deer. You could use it to create screening. These trees are laying this way now in a big mess, so you're able to walk behind it. And that's kind of what I'm doing in this case. I'm creating screening so the cars passing by my property can't just look in and see my pond. Also, I'm doing it for a second reason, because behind me on my barn here, I have solar power panels, and this is starting to block the panels on the top of the barn. So I took them down, get more sun on, generate more power. But I'm getting a lot of different uses out of this. I don't really do anything on my property here if it's bad for deer. So I just figured I'd hinge cut this tree down, create a little more screening so cars going by can't look at my property, get more sun. And because of it, the deer might feel a little bit more comfortable in my lower field over here. Because there's now, instead of just one little 8-inch tree blocking, I've got a whole, 6 foot, 7 foot high wall blocking a good chunk of cars going by looking into my property. And all these can be applicable in the woods for hunting purposes, but I figured I would just give you a quick tutorial on what a hinge is and doing it. And again, I didn't even have to use a chainsaw on this one. I did this by hand, which is also fine, because some of those larger trees that you think you might need a chainsaw, maybe you shouldn't be hinging them. It might just be better to fell them, because hinging can be dangerous once you start getting into bigger trees. But something like this, something that, look about the size of my hand, perfect to do this on. Most trees stay alive if done right. This one probably won't because of the type of tree it is, but again, I'm using it for more screening and other purposes. All right, thanks for watching.